Welcome to the 2022 Economic Depression and Preparation channel. I'm your host, Tony. Thank you for joining me on this July 21st, 2022 Thursday edition. Please be sure to subscribe for the latest financial news to this channel, and I thank you for your support. And now we're going to be talking about the jobless claims numbers that came out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time today. It was a rise. It was a big rise, of course, and we're also going to be talking about inflation as well as the Dow Jones stock market going up in a time where we're heading toward a slowing economy, a recessionary economy. So we're going to get into that right now. As you can see, this is CNBC.com reported this morning that jobless claims rose again, another sign that the labor market is cooling. They just need to change that to the labor market has been cooling for the last 10 years now. Initial jobless claims were up to 251,000 for the week ending July 16th, last Friday. We had expected, many senior economists and experts had expected 240,000 initial jobless claims. So that's 11,000 more than expected. That's a big number. So this is the highest weekly total since mid-November. And this is an omen of things to come as we head toward late summer and into the fall season. Of course, the midterms. It's not a good sign. So now what we have here is we have all of these signs saying now hiring. You've seen it out in the stores, from fast food stores to Walmart, saying they're going to be hiring people for $15, $16 an hour to stock. You've seen it in the travel and the hospitality industry, saying that we just can't find people to work. So how is it that we have so many people unemployed, but we have all these signs saying that now hiring and that now they have all these job openings? It can't be either or is it both? Well, the thing you have to look at too is we have continuing claims, which runs a week behind the number according to the report. Continuing claims is also up to 1.3 million people, the highest total since April of I think 23rd of this year. So continuing claims is up and initial claims is up. So we have to factor in, even if you are employed and you have your main gig, you also have side gigs as well, right? So those working two jobs or more is increased as well. So we have 10 million people who are really unemployed. Then we have another 10 million people who are underemployed, meaning they're working two or three side hustles to make up ends meet for the main job that may or may not be paying enough to make ends meet in some of the high cost of living cities and states. So employment has been things that are really going to be hurting this recession, because when jobless people get laid off from their jobs, they can't afford these toys, these houses, and these cars and other things as well. So now CBS News reports, after inflation, workers on minimum wage haven't made this little since the 1950s. So what we have now is a dichotomy. We have this economy is supposedly quote unquote growing according to the stock market, but minimum wage is only $7.25 an hour. And this rate is worth now less, quote unquote, than any time in 66 years, a new analysis found. So it doesn't go far. A regular wage doesn't go far in today's economy. And we all know the real living wage for most states, you would need at least, anywhere from $25 an hour north just to make a basic living in this economy, because the average rental price for a one bedroom apartment in the United States is above $1,400 a month. So good luck with that. Now, here's a chart showing the declining worth of the minimum wage they put in here. This is courtesy of Economic Policy Institute. And you can see since 2009, the minimum wage has lost more than 1/4 of its purchasing power. That's just since 2009. Okay, so the dollar is losing its value. That's part of the reason why this inflation is so bad. And so supply chain crisis, yes, we have that. That is going to be ongoing. But the dollar losing its value has never stopped since the 1950s, guys. And it doesn't matter, no matter how high you make the minimum wage, if the value of the dollar is going down, you have less purchasing power. And that's what pundits don't get when they say, we have a $15 minimum wage in Seattle or whatever. It doesn't matter how high you raise the minimum wage if the value of the dollars themselves are weak. And that's what Alan Greenspan, one of the former directors of the Federal Reserve, said. He said that we can print money, the Federal Reserve Bank can print money, but they cannot guarantee its purchasing power. And we're seeing the effects and ramifications of all of this quantitative easing, as they call it, money printing, that's unlimited. and all of this easy money, and now they're trying to tighten it up, but it's too late now, guys. And so right now, minimum wage is at $7.25 an hour. Some states have higher, I know, but it's just not going to work. And guys, productivity rises, wages fall. Since the 1960s, increases in minimum wage have lagged growth in workers' productivity. Well, because of globalism, yeah, we had cheap wages given to everyone around the countries, different countries and stuff, and we had great productivity. But now countries are bringing back. They can say they can hire. Countries say, look, we can hire automate. We can hire robots and everything to put the cars together. We can go to automation. We can do all this robots and drones and tech stuff. We don't need as many workers. So now, hey, look, wages fall. They don't have to pay robots and everybody retirement benefits and healthcare and all this other stuff. And this is what we're seeing here. Wages are falling. That's not a good sign. So we got a combination here, guys, where we're going into wages falling, productivity falling, but prices and everything else are skyrocketing because the value of the dollar is going to zero. Not quite that way, but like I said, it takes time. With a $15 trillion economy the U.S. economy has, it takes time for all of this to trickle down. So Dow Jones gains today. Dow Jones was up like 80-something, 90-something points, kind of tepid. But Tesla stock rises after Elon makes this boast, and Netflix surges. One interesting thing about Netflix was that just last week, when they were just reporting that Netflix lost over 1 million subscribers or 2 million subscribers, now their stock is picking up steam, as they say they got quote-unquote better than expected subscriber figures. I don't believe that, guys. Apple and Walt Disney were growing today as well. But guys, the thing that's interesting, ladies and gentlemen, is that this stock market is artificially propped up. It does not represent the real economy. Once again, Venezuela stock market went up to 50,000 before, during the midst of its economic collapse. So the United States Dow Jones was at 38,000 just last year, just a couple months ago, and now it's around 32,000 or 31,000. But it's going to be going down. So it doesn't matter how high it goes, because remember, in a collapsing economy, the currency value goes to nothing. The stock market can go to whatever it goes to. But in all the collapsing economies we've seen in the last 15 years, between Greece, Turkey, Iceland, all these currencies crashed first. The stock market was still going up to infinity. Venezuela, Zimbabwe, Weimar, Germany, you go all the way back. The stock markets are going to infinity. So that's been manipulated, as you can see here. These charts can be numbers can lie. They can be manipulated, as you can see here, with Tesla and all these other stocks. Because the value of the currency is going down, and that's one of the key things that you have to remember. So continue to prepare, stack food, water, security, everything that you can, because this is just the bottom of the fourth inning of this collapse. It's going to take time for this to go through the system, even after all of the midterms and all the elections. It's going to take time, but the bottom line is that we're still on a downward trajectory with this economy. Jobless claims are up, initial jobless claims are up, and continuing claims are up. Not to mention, guys, we still have a food problem here in America. We're eating the food from last crop season. The farmers have been telling us, reporting to us, not just me, but others, that were saying that the corn crops are in danger, anywhere from Iowa all the way back west to Colorado and Wyoming. The corn crops are in danger because of the severe drought. You've seen the temperatures above 110, 115 in all these places for several days. It's not unusual to have heat out there, but to have it for weeks at a time is very unusual. It's killing the crops. And so this food shortage has yet to play out. This is going to be playing out this coming winter. Be prepared for that. There's plenty of channels out there that talk about food preparation, canning, dehydrated foods that you can store right now today while we still have access to all of these things. As well. So that's coming up too as well. And so we've already seen that we cannot depend on the government to come out and rescue us with another stimulus check or another stimulus package. At this point, it's not going to matter. It's a moot point, because another $1,400, $1,200 is not going to make too much of a difference, I don't think, in much of anyone's lives right now. So what we need to do is we need to continue to grow our own food, either at home or in a different location, an urban garden, or wherever you may be. You can still grow a microgreens for those of us in an super urban, high-rise apartment or a condo or whatever. You can still do that. You can also store water, and that's very important. If you're looking for property, if you're looking for a property outside of the cities and suburbs and hinterland, make sure it has some type of pond or spring or creek or some type of water, because water is going to be another crucial element for the Western countries, even though we think it's only in the Eastern world that the water is going to be a problem. In the Middle Middle East. Water's going to be a problem over here very soon because Lake Mead is drying up, as I showed you a couple of videos ago, and other things that they're not really saying in the news. But there's a lot going on nature-wise and climate change-wise that I'm probably going to speak about in a later video that's going on in terms of the climate change and the sea level rising that we're experiencing around the world, as well as the food insecurity. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, thank you for listening. Continue to have a great week. Please be sure to check out in the description box. There's an ebook by my friend Jonathan about the Recession Survival Guide. I think it's available on Amazon. I'll try to post a link to that to help him out in that regard. So check it out. Thank you for listening, guys. I'll talk to you very soon. God bless.